Hey guys, today we're taking a look at a Bose Wave radio a customer brought in because it won't load CDs. We start by testing it ourselves, and sure enough, it doesn't load. Our technician Chris starts by cleaning the laser and laser guide in case it's just dirty or has old, dried out grease. We try it again to see if that fixed it. Still no luck, so we're moving forward with disassembly. First, remove the 3 screws on top, one under the CD door and 2 more on the back section. Then remove the clips still securing the panel. Once inside, we'll remove the laser assembly. While it's easily accessible, Chris cleans it again. Better to have no grease than old, dried out grease. Right here, Chris will move the laser up and down the guide to help ensure that he gets the entire rail. Next, he removes the 6 screws holding the speaker box and display in place. With the screws out, we unplug everything and lift the speaker box away. Now we have a nice view of the dusty main board. Now we're going to remove these flex cables. Then we remove the power cord and transformer. And finally, we remove the main board, unwinding the battery cord and undoing the retaining clips. This is now a great time to clean the board. We start by blowing it out with an air blower. Once we're done getting all of the surface dust out with the blower, we move forward with cleaning it with isopropyl alcohol 99.9% and an electric toothbrush. Chris identifies the capacitors that directly drive the laser assembly. These four right here. For this repair, we need two 10 microfarad 25 volt capacitors, one 1 microfarad 50 volt capacitor, and one 220 microfarad 10 volt capacitor. With our capacitors ready, we heat up the desoldering gun to 450 degrees. Once it's up to temp, we desolder the joints holding the old caps. Pull them out and insert replacements one at a time, making sure each new cap goes in with the same orientation as the old one. Polarity matters here. Get it wrong and you risk damaging the capacitor. The longer lead is positive, the lead next to the stripe is negative. A quick tip on desoldering. Work in short bursts. If a joint doesn't let go quickly, don't just hold the heat on it for longer. Pull away, let the iron reset, then go back in. Especially on a board this densely packed. Holding heat too long on one joint risks lifting the pad or damaging a neighboring trace, and that turns a simple cap swap into a much bigger repair. Once all four are in place, we heat the soldering iron to 440 degrees and solder the caps in. A tip for soldering: heat the pad and the lead together for a second before you feed in the solder, not just the solder itself. Then let the solder flow to the joint rather than melting it onto the tip and dropping it on. You're looking for a smooth, shiny cone shape when you're done. If it comes out dull or grainy, that's a cold joint and can fail on you down the road even though it looks connected. After the solder sets, we trim the excess leads. This looks just like it did from the factory. Next, we clean up the base. It has collected a lot of dust over the years. And then we start assembling the unit. The control board snaps back in place, route the battery wire, then plug the flex cables, followed by the rest of the connectors. One tip here: when plugging these flex cables back in, make sure the contacts are facing the right direction, the cable goes in straight, and it's pushed all the way in evenly on both sides. If it's crooked or only half seated, you can end up with a loose connection or no connection at all, and you'll be chasing a new problem that's really just this. Seat the transformer and plug it back in. Quick lesson learned. At this stage, we should have also reconnected the power cord, but we missed it and didn't catch it until later in the reassembly. Keep an eye out for that step when you're doing this yourself. It'll save you a lot of time having to backtrack like we did. Since we're inside the unit, we proceed with wiping out all of the dust and cleaning out the crevices. Then we reinstall the 6 screws that we removed earlier that hold the speaker box in place. Then we reinstall the laser. It has 2 wires that need to be seated properly. Then you just place it in its seat. Make sure that you route the wires correctly, otherwise you risk running into problems when trying it later. Now the top goes back on and snaps into place, followed by the 3 screws on top. Then the unit goes back into its base if it has one. This is actually where we caught the missing power cord, so Chris popped it back open, connected it, and finished reassembling. Once it's all back together, we power it up and it starts playing immediately. Successful repair. Now it's ready to go back to the customer. This is a great unit, and I'm glad we could save it from ending up in the trash. If you've got one of these that needs fixing, we can take care of it for you. We're located in Mesa, Arizona, and you could drop it off or mail it in. We also have the recap kit for this model available at the link in the description. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like it and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching.
You went away 'cause you said that you can't stand me.